North American literature. The United States achieved its independence in 1776. In the early years, they tried to organize the country and create the Constitution with which they may be ruled. And among some of the important early writers are Francisco Hopkinson, Jeremy Belknap, Susanna Rawson, Hannah Webster, Huck Henry, Breckinridge, Royal Tyler, Charles Crockden Brown, and William Hill Brown. The first works were written in a realistic way, with a bit of suspense and adventure. But initially, the writers of the United States wanted to create their own epic literature to find an identity. They were three mainly important events. There are the Revolution, the colonization by the English, and the territorial expansion. And also, geographical discoveries began to take place in the Mississippi River, the Great Lakes region, the Far West, Kentucky, and many more. Some characteristics are the writings establish the popular and the issues of daily basis. Realism is handled in a direct and crude manner. They misfortune through the country, like natural disasters, epidemics, and banditry. They are the ones that are reflected. They use vivid image, abundant imagination, and the characters have a strong psychology and very clear reasons to act, and it's a narrative. The writers had a quick and easy way to write. We have here three important works. It's the one of Extraordinary Stories that is written by Edgar Allan Poe, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer that is written by Mark Twain, and the last one, Moby Dick, by Herman Melville.
Romanticism appears in Argentina in the 1839, influenced by the writer Esteban Echeverría, who had lived in France from 1825 to 1830, where he met writers like Victor Hugo. With the influences he obtained in France, he creates a literary group which was later closed, considered dangerous because of his unappreciated liberal ideas. Some of his writings were El Matadero and La Cautiva. Realism by José López Portillo y Rojas. He was a Mexican writer, originally from Guadalajara, but he traveled to Europe and the East. He taught literature and had an important political position. He wrote journalism, history texts, novel, short stories, and poetry. An important work of him is the novel The Parcel of Land. It's about the relationship between man and land. Among other compositions are The Prosecutors, The Mirror, and Quetzalcoatl. His writings preceded the novels about the Mexican Revolution. Naturalism in Latin America had some features that made it unique and representative. The writing was raw and dramatic, useful to complain. Among its topics were the pest that plagued their people, the miserable conditions in which people lived, the inhuman exploitation of men, and the horrible material and moral misery of society. These characteristics are fulfilled by the Chilean writer Baldomero Lillo. Thought compositions like Subterra and The Devil's Tunnel, Lillo could see how the miners lived under deplorable conditions. Berta Lopez Morales described the writer and his work as Baldomero Lillo covered all ranges of the short story, suspense, humor, customs, social criticism, and legend with profoundly a national background.
In 1898, Spain went through several events according to Shaw. In 1897, the loss of the Spanish colonies in Latin America was not a big impact for the Spaniards. However, a new liberation was growing in Cuba. United States hostilities with Spain in 1898 because their citizens may be jeopardy. After that, several Spanish ships were defeated in the Philippines and sent to Cuba. Spain lost the war. Treaty of Paris of December 10, 1898 forced Spain to give the independence to Cuba. For Spaniards, was a blow in his patriotism and nationalism, making Spain feel defeated. Gabriel Mora was the one who had sected intellectually after the disaster. Andres González Blanco called it Generation of Disaster, but the name of Generation of 98 is owed to Jose Martinez Ruiz Azurrin. There were two types of mainstream: renovation, different view of reality, Spanish tradition, landscapes, and literary style. Most to do with rebellion, politics, and social criticism. Disaster came when criticism emerged, and is used as a weapon by this generation. Philosophical problems had to do with finding a truth that could serve to establish the base to help to resolve conflicts. Their thoughts were existential.